and welcome to the 570th episode of Travelitz Radio. I'm Dan Schlossberg. Roger Noriega is not with us tonight, so has to stick with me. We are in the 13th season of Travelitz Radio, the show that lets you enjoy the pleasures of travel from the comfort of your armchair. Every week at this time, we talk to people representing destinations, hotels, airlines, railroads, car rental companies, and others in the world of travel and hospitality, from authors and bloggers to broadcasters and publicists. If it's got anything to do with travel, it's got everything to do with Travelitz Radio. Our guest today is Glenn Schottman of Discover Gilbert. Welcome, Glenn, to Travelitz Radio.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Good to be here.
When people think of coming to Arizona, they're always talking Phoenix, Scottsdale, Sedona, not Gilbert. So tell us why they should consider Gilbert instead.
Yeah. So a lot of people who come to Gilbert come because maybe their grandkids live here or their parents live here. And that's how they learned about Gilbert, right? A lot of folks who live in the Valley come from other places. And and so that's really worked out in our benefit. And then they discover kind of what a great community it is. One of the things about Gilbert is it's new as a destination. So we're catching people by surprise. In our downtown heritage district has been kind of a shining star. In the last 10 years, it's really developed and brought some great restaurants into the community, but also good nightlife too. And the arts and everything from our farmers market on Saturday to those late night speakeasies in town. So we end up being a very relaxed destination, easy to navigate, friendly, and you still get the luxury of being within the Valley of the Sun and the greater Phoenix metro area and discovering everything that is to offer here in Arizona.
Where exactly is Gilbert located, and how close is Phoenix Airport?
Yeah, so we're about 30 minutes on a good day. If you get caught in rush hour, it might look a little bit different, but not too far. Not too far. You jump on a major highway from Sky Harbor, you get to Gilbert in 25 to 30 minutes. And we're just in the Southeast Valley. So over on the east side, this is how we look at it here in Phoenix. We say we got the West Valley, we got the East Valley. But yeah, we're over with Mesa, Chandler, Tempe, and then Scottsdale to the north.
Gilbert has earned the nickname Phoenix's coolest suburb. I know we're not talking about the temperature, so please explain the vibe.
Yeah. Not talking about the temperature right now. We're coming out of our warm season and looking forward to those cool temps hitting soon. So the vibe here is it's kind of that when you're out traveling, you're always picturing yourself like, what if we lived here? What if this was a place we called home? Like, could we see that happen? It's just something I do whenever I travel. Just kind of imagine yourself in the place. Gilbert is that home away from home. It has a solid sense of community. When you visit our town, you're experiencing everything that the locals are doing and everything that they love. So it's this very real, very authentic travel experience where you get the best of your hotels and your restaurants and your entertainment and all those activities, but you have that kind of small town friendly environment that everyone loves, where they come from.
Glenn, Gilbert has the reputation of having the top 5 foodie neighborhoods in Metro Phoenix. What are they, and how close together are they?
Yeah, so Phoenix, we have such a great food scene here within the Valley and even Arizona as a whole. That Southwestern, there's a lot of flavors that come in from the desert into the food, and so you'll find these neighborhoods sprinkled throughout the metro area. I think of Arcadia, downtown Phoenix, like Roosevelt Row, the Biltmore District, Scottsdale. For Gilbert in our heritage district to be mentioned in the same breath as those is phenomenal. And then within Gilbert, we have our downtown where we have over 30 restaurants available, and they're all locally unique for the most part. we also have Agritopia, we have Santan Village, and Verde at Cooley Station. And so there's all these different nodes within Gilbert because it's 72 square miles. So it's a big piece of land. And so there's destinations within the destination. So if you're on the south side of town, the east side of town, or staying in downtown, you're going to find some great food.
Tell us more about your Heritage District.
Yeah, so the Heritage District is our downtown. We say lots of people have a downtown. We have a Heritage District. The reason we call it the Heritage District is because it's our original town site. In 1920, Gilbert was founded as a town. We still are a town. 280,000 people later, we are the largest town in the United States. It's just one of those things we're hanging on to, right? We just want that feel of being a town. Our Heritage District is the entertainment hub. 30 plus restaurants. We have a Broadway style theater. That's where our water tower, our icon of Gilbert, rises up. We have art. We have lots of public murals down there, and it's decorated for every season. And we have lots of events. Our farmers market is down there. So it's really the community's living room.
We're talking Gilbert, Arizona with Glenn Schlottman. Gilbert personifies art in the desert with its collection of public art. Is it inside museums or outside in the form of statues?
Yeah, so I'd say it's the people's art, right? It's outside. We have murals throughout, not only in the Heritage District, but most places you go in town. The community has really embraced that public art side of things. We have benches that light up that have been commissioned. Our utility boxes are wrapped with artwork, and we have sculptures and different things that you'll find from our riparian preserve to different areas of town. So it is that outdoor people's art kind of perspective that everyone can stroll around to, get selfies with, just experience as they walk from spot to spot. And then we do have a gallery at the Gilbert Historical Museum, and they commission different exhibits throughout the year, and it's a great place to stop in and sometimes see something contemporary, and sometimes see something that's more historical about the Valley or Gilbert specifically.
Why did Architectural Digest name Gilbert one of the nation's best hidden gem destinations for winter travelers?
Yeah, so again, it's that home away from home. If you're coming down, if you're a snowbird, you live up in the north and you say, I just don't want to deal with these winters anymore. I need a warm place to go. Obviously, Arizona fits that mold. But then Gilbert, on top of it, is that community where you want to hang out. Has everything you would need. The homes are great. The restaurants are great. The entertainment's great. There's lots of activities through our parks and recreation and other amenities. So we find that our population increases, and sometimes they have family down here too. So there's all those great connections here in Gilbert that provide that. And then really, I mean, once you're here, you have everything that Arizona has to offer, right? So all of this public land that we have, all of this open space to explore, to hike, to get out on the river and paddleboard, or go kayaking. So it's a great destination to be at, but also to experience Arizona.
When out-of-towners come to Gilbert, do they need cars to get around, or is there good public transportation? And can they take the light rail from the airport?
Yeah, so if they took the light rail for the airport, they'd end up a little short, but they would get close. So in general, Phoenix metro area, a car is recommended, but the light rail is a great resource. So I would say you fly in, you grab a car rental, you're able to get anywhere you need to be. And then if you're staying in Gilbert and you want to go downtown to catch a Diamondbacks game or a Suns game or a Mercury game, you can drive up Gilbert Road a few miles, park your car, jump on the light rail, and ride it into town. So there are those transportation options, but yeah, keep a car handy, or at least your app with Uber and Lyft. So
Gilbert is known for its weekly events year-round. Going, what's coming up on the social calendar over the last part of this year?
Yeah, so right now we have Harvest in the Heritage District. So while all of those in the East are doing their leaf peeping, we're trying to keep that flavor going here in Arizona as we come out of the heat. So we have our downtown decorated for the fall. We have events happening, our farmers market every Saturday of the year. And then Halloween's a huge celebration here. Communities throughout town decorate, the trick-or-treating side of things, and then all of the activities to take place there. This weekend, we have a big concert with 90s bands. So if you're a 90s indie pop or grunge music fan, we have the Gin Blossoms, which came out of Tempe, Arizona. They're returning for a concert here at our Gilbert Regional Park. So that's going to be phenomenal. And then as we get into November, we have Gilbert Days. So every year we continue to celebrate all things great about Gilbert. And it originated as back in the 20s, they paved Gilbert Road. And so the town had a big celebration, and it persists today. And so we still have a parade that happens, but now we also have a half marathon that goes on, a softball tournament, and a big concert out at our amphitheater as well. Oh, and the rodeo. Can't forget the rodeo.
Okay. And we can't forget the Arizona Fall League. These are the logos of the teams, and they're not far from Gilbert, right?
Not at all. So the Fall League and the Cactus League in the spring, we promote ourselves as a hub for that. So you can stay in Gilbert within 20 minutes. You can get to a variety of stadiums, whether it's Sloan or Hohokam in Mesa, or Diablo Field over in Tempe, or even up to Scottsdale, where the Giants play for spring training. Yeah, so they're all nearby, and Fall League's great. Fall League is phenomenal because it's so intimate, and it's a real fun experience.
Glenn, does Gilbert have a good share of resorts or a selection of accommodations to suit all budgets?
Yeah, so all budgets is our thing, for sure. So we have great hotels, and even at lower price points, you're still getting some of those best accommodations that you could ask for. When it comes to resorts, we can't hold a flame to what's going on in Scottsdale, but our resort is the vacation rental. So the homes are really nice here, and luckily some of the residents have opened those up for visitors. And so if you're looking for that resort style accommodation, look no further than VRBO or Airbnb, and you can get a nice house on a lake, hanging out, or a nice bungalow in the downtown to experience everything going on there. So good mix of everything from the small hotels on the budget side to a step up on the hotels to the vacation rentals for your resort experience.
And having done that a number of times, mostly in Florida, I can tell our audience it's great. You get the most bang for your buck that way, because in a house you can have a whole family, and what that would cost in hotel rooms can't be matched.
I agree. We have a lot of youth and amateur sports here in Gilbert, and so we get a lot of families that come out for baseball, softball, soccer, all those different sports that families travel for, and Airbnbs and vacation rentals work great for that crowd too.
And tell us about the Gilbert culinary scene. Are there special recipes, special foods, or special restaurants that should be included on everybody's can't miss list?
Yeah, for sure. So Gilbert is an agricultural community historically, and a lot of that still exists here within the Valley. And we have a group that is preserving urban agriculture, and they're over at a community here called Agritopia. And it is what it sounds like. It's agriculture and a utopia as a community, and really great place. as a community, but also as a destination for visitors. So restaurants, shops, a winery, a brewery, all the fun stuff there. And it's centered around an 11-acre organic USDA farm. And so that farm is a way to bridge the agricultural side of things, but also all those restaurants are sourcing from that farm. So you get a true farm to table experience with the freshest of produce coming into those recipes. And while that exists there, we see that kind of throughout some of our restaurants here in Gilbert. We have a brewery called Arizona Wilderness Brewing, and they follow that same concept of keeping it local, having a short supply chain, using heritage grains that are grown here in the Phoenix metro area, in their salads, in their beers, in their breads. And so that's really what we love to see, is that collaboration between all the different suppliers. And then that goes right into those local restaurants, and it's delicious. You can't ask for anything fresher.
We're talking Gilbert, Arizona with Glenn Schlottman. And this is Travel It Radio with Dan Schlossberg and usually, but not tonight, Roger Noriega. We're in our 13th season, approaching our 600th episode. We're live at 5 New York time every Thursday on LinkedIn, YouTube, WhatsApp, X, Twitter, and Facebook, among others. Glenn, how about things to do during the day in Gilbert, like exploring museums, enjoying the benign climate, and also photogenic cacti?
Yeah. We do have some photogenic cacti. Just don't hug them. I mean, they're very nice, but so lots to do during the day. I always recommend that if you're arriving in town, that you stop by the Gilbert Historical Museum, learn about early agriculture in the valley in Gilbert, what went on and what kind of how the community got its start. It's a great starting place just to get your bearings. Then heading over to Hale Center Theater, you can catch a show. You can watch one of the fun family comedies or dramas over there. It's a theater in the round. You can't have a bad seat in that auditorium, and the show is phenomenal. The cast of local actors, they do a great job. And then leaving the theater, you're able to experience everything else happening downtown. If you're here on a Saturday, the farmers market is a must see and a not to be missed event that happens every single Saturday, even in the summer. In those brutal summer months, we still they just moved the hours a little earlier, but still have fresh produce, food trucks, lots of local vendors, everything from local honey to plants and crafts, and you can pick up a cactus and take one home with you. So lots to do there. And then I'll leave you with the Riparian Preserve is one of our favorites. So the Riparian is a desert experience where you're able to kind of get a true sense of the flora and fauna here in Arizona. It's right in the middle of Gilbert. So you're not going out, on a 4-wheel drive road and trying to track it down. But when you step into the Riparian Preserve, you feel like you're out of the city. It's a big birding destination. We've seen over 300 species of birds there. And so we get a lot of folks who are coming out with their binoculars and their cameras and watching all the unique Arizona birds, but also those snowbirds that are flying in this time of year. So we have 2 types of snowbirds here in Gilbert, but so that's a must see. And the other thing we love about that is you can get a photo with a cactus in our cactus garden. But if you're not looking for a hike up a mountain, if you need something a little easier, if you're arriving with a wheelchair, whatever it is, it's fully accessible. And so it's a great way to experience the desert without having to hike a mountain and really prepare that way.
Are there local highlights tours that visitors can take? I know Pink Jeeps roam the hills and other places around Phoenix.
Yeah, we're still in a good position. If you want to get out with Pink Jeep or one of those tour operators and get out and see everything that's to offer around Metro Phoenix, they'll come pick you up at your hotel, kind of thing, right? Within Gilbert, there's a couple of options, and we're working on a few more as we're a growing destination. One is you can take that farm tour over at Agritopia. Highly recommend that. You get to learn about agriculture in the desert. You can grow anything here as long as you can add water. We have so much sun. It's amazing what you see grow. So I'd recommend that. And then obviously when you're done with that tour, you're in a beautiful destination for lunch. And then the Riparian Preserve is another good location too. That you can take a tour and kind of learn about the flora and fauna. But if you stop in on a Friday night, Arizona is a premier destination for our dark skies. And even within the metro area, you can still see some good stars and some good celestial events happening. So we have a group that comes out every Friday and does a star party out at the Riparian Preserve. And then we have an observatory that's open on Fridays and Saturdays that's free to the public to stop in and take a look at things here. So a great way to experience what's on the ground and what's above.
You have mentioned that Gilbert is one of the fastest growing communities in the country. What accounts for that?
Yeah, it's been booming. It's been incredible. Phoenix in general, it's a fast growing place, and Gilbert, as growth rippled out from the center, Gilbert really exploded in growth over the last 10 years. We saw our heritage district go from 3 restaurants to 30 restaurants in its development. But really, it's just we got a lot of young families. We're a young community. And so those first time and second and third time home buyers are choosing Gilbert as a destination. And then businesses as well that are looking for a home and looking for headquarters. We see a lot of that movement too. So that some of that's shifting slightly over to places like Tampa, Florida, and some of those big destinations that are growing. But we continue to still be a hotbed for growth here in Gilbert.
Good play on words, hotbed.
Yeah. I'm hoping to end soon. So
way back when, wasn't Gilbert called the hay shipping capital of the world?
Yeah. It sounds better than alfalfa shipping capital of the world, right? Yeah. So that's really why Gilbert's here. The Union Pacific Railroad runs right through our heritage district. And Gilbert was established as a stop along the railroad to load up all the hay that was being grown in the area. And yeah, for a period there, we were the hay shipping capital of the world. 2,000 people probably strong in the community at the time. And a gentleman named Bobby Gilbert from Mesa came down, had purchased that land, and established Gilbert as a stop, which eventually became a community. And and then he got the namesake for it, and now we're a bustling metropolis.
Gilbert has a dam and several canals. Are those the reasons agriculture is booming there?
Yeah. So if you ever get the chance to come to Phoenix and learn about the water history here, it's incredible. Everything from the Roosevelt Dam on down the Salt River and the many dams that create reservoirs and that system, and then as it flows through the valley, and then all the canals that come off of that. So our water history is vast and very diverse. We have water that comes through those dams and is let let through the system for agriculture, for our drinking water, and everything else. And there's a robust system. The Colorado River plays a role in that distribution. We have groundwater, and then the riparian preserve, which I talked about earlier. The really fun thing about that property is it's a public utility in addition to a wildlife preserve, and all the ponds that exist within that property are water recharge ponds. So water from the community goes into those ponds, trickles down, and restores our aquifer for use again in the future. So really cyclical cycle, and some amazing planning that has gone into Gilbert, but the broader Phoenix metro area when it comes to water.
Let's hear about the nightlife, theater, galleries, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so Gilbert's become the chill destination if you're looking for a fun nightlife experience, but don't quite want to get too crazy up in Scottsdale and other locations. We get a lot of folks who come down to Gilbert for a fun evening out. We have everything from country music bars to speakeasies and local brew pubs, and so you can have a fun time here with your friends and family, your girls group, your guys group, whatever it would be. And we have rideshare pickups. We have easy parking, and then local accommodations nearby as well.
And Gilbert has some unusual attractions too. A water tower that changes colors, glowing benches, art along the waterways, brick walls painted with murals. Tell us about them, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Gilbert Water Tower was the original town purchase that happened back in the 1920s, and the town has preserved the water tower and has become an icon of our community. And you see it from a distance when you're driving into town. We light it up. We light it up for everything. Folks can ask for that different activity that's happened, that different holiday that's happening, and request that it be lit for that. But of course, for Christmas and the holidays, it's green and red, and during the fall season, it has shades of orange. For the 4th of July, it's red, white, and blue. And so it's just a fun space where everyone enjoys. And then right below the water tower is a splash pad and a community event area. And the farmers market happens down there too. So it becomes an icon for that. And then those murals, like I said, they're fantastic. They're fun to discover. They're all over town and around every corner. And those benches, they look benign during the day. As soon as the lights go out, they start glowing, and so that's a fun experience. And then even on Gilbert Road, as you drive in at night, it's all neon. So it's a really cool, as it is the Heritage District, it has those elements that make you feel like you've stepped back in time a little bit.
Why does Gilbert Town Hall have a 9/11 memorial?
Yeah. So I mean, like many communities across the country, when 9/11 happened, they wanted to show their support for the first responders and all the lives lost during that time period, and so they created that memorial, got a beam from the Twin Towers, and it continues to show that support, that the community is a strong supporter of our veterans, our first responders, our police and fire, and all of those who make America and this place great for all of us.
Are there artifacts from the Old West and the Gilbert Historical Museum? Yeah,
absolutely. If you want to learn about agriculture, it's a great place to stop in and say, how farming in the desert, is that a thing? It's absolutely a thing. And so everything from big combines to the smaller tools, and then of course what life looked like during that time period, and photographs, stories. So it's a fun stop, a great way to learn about Gilbert's history, but also agricultural history in the Southwest.
And Glenn, many people coming from the crowded East Coast marvel at Gilbert's open space, 600 acres, 40 parks, 40 sports fields, 4 public pools. Are these facilities used by both locals and visitors?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, big green spaces, big sky. It can feel invigorating when you have all that space to look at. So yeah, visitors. So one place I'll mention as just an example, Cactus Yards is an 8-diamond complex, and we host a variety of events there. But every weekend we have baseball and softball tournaments out there where visitors come from all over to experience. And then during the week, we have local leagues. So we have this world-class facility that is both for the community, but also is a great destination for our visitors.
Ranking Arizona rated Gilbert the #1 place to live in Arizona in 2022, and the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting Program named it the 2nd safest big city in America that same year. What other awards and distinctions does Gilbert have?
Yeah, we continue. I mean, everything from the fastest growing to the safest city to a great place for snowbirds and the nightlife side of things. We just see them roll in, and I think it's just a testament to putting that planning in, that thinking in, having a great community that has a lot of pride, and appreciates open space, appreciates quality of life, and so we see a lot of accolades based on those measures.
And Gilbert has lots of special events. What's coming up between now and the end of the year?
Fun things to do. So at the Riparian Preserve, when it's time to put up those lights, we will have those out for a free event throughout the park. And so folks arrive there, they walk the trails, they see lots of holiday lights throughout. And so that's a great one to be had. And then also Gilbert Days, when that's going on, and we'll have our farmers market every Saturday, and lots of fun things going on here in Gilbert in the fall, and then the spring really gets crazy.
And what's the best time to visit Gilbert? What are your peak and bargain seasons?
So if you want a real bargain, come in the summer. There's still plenty to do as long as you can brave the heat. But really the sweet spot, and then March here in the spring is our peak season, with spring training, with some of the other events happening in the Valley, like the Waste Management Phoenix Open on the PGA side, Barrett-Jackson car auction. So a lot of good things. Last year we had the Super Bowl. Final Four will be here soon. So there's all these big events that draw people during that time of year. I always recommend the fall. If you can come in October and November, you get the best of the weather, and you don't have to pay such exorbitant prices on the hotel side.
We hear Benji Molina, the former all-star catcher, lives in Gilbert. Who are some of the other celebrities who have called Gilbert home?
Yeah, well, I mentioned Bobby Gilbert. Yeah, he was a big deal. But the other one that we're having fun with right now is Brock Purdy. So he lived in Chandler, which is next door, but he went to Gilbert High School here. And so of course we claim him, and it's fun watching him sometimes on Thursday Night Football, and they'll bring up his roots in Gilbert. Oh, you're from a small town. Yeah. And so that's always fun, and hoping that they have a good run again this year with the 49ers over there.
If people are planning to come for the Christmas holidays, how far ahead should they book?
The airfare is going to be the limiting one on that. We have lots of great places to stay, and you'll always find a destination here during that time of year. But I say start planning now if you can, just to save yourself a little bit on airfare. But if it's last minute, hey, you'll find a spot. It'll be good.
And how do Travel Itch Radio viewers learn more about Gilbert?
Absolutely. You can check out discovergilbert.com, and you can learn everything that there is to do, our events calendar, and what we have going on this weekend to next spring.
And our guest today has been Glenn Schlotman of Gilbert, Arizona. Thank you so much for being our guest on Travelers Radio.
Hey, thanks, Dan. It's been fun.
Okay, fun for me too. And that's it for this edition of Travelers Radio. Next week, same time, same place, same writer, we'll talk with Harding Bush of the Global Rescue Companies and a member of the U.S. Travel and Tourism Advisory Board at the U.S. State Department. Now, this is Dan Schlossberg along with Roger Noriega, who's not here tonight, but he's here in spirit, saying thank you for your time this time. Until next time, good night and stay safe.